From the heartbeat of Africa to the pulse of the world, this is Allied News. Hello and welcome to Allied News. My name is Khadija Ibrahim. Thank you for joining us. These are the top stories we're tracking at this hour. Nigeria's economy records a 3.13% growth, powered by a surging services sector. Ogun State government braces for a legal clash with the Ifa Council over the Avujere's burial rights. The Ondo State government intensifies its crackdown on cultism and youth-related violence. Let's take a deeper look into these stories. Nigeria's economy appears to be regaining traction, posting a 3.13% growth in the first quarter of 2025, a significant leap compared to the 2.28% recorded in the same period last year. This growth, according to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, is largely fueled by the country's ever-resilient services sector, which expanded by 4.33%. Key drivers within the sector include finance, information, technology, telecommunications, and logistics, all of which recorded considerable expansion despite ongoing macroeconomic challenges. These industries are not only boosting investor confidence, but also leading the charge toward the nation's digital transformation. Meanwhile, the oil and gas sector, once Nigeria's economic engine, saw only marginal improvements. Crude production averaged 1.6 million barrels per day, hindered by issues like pipeline vandalism and fluctuating global prices. Despite the subdued oil performance, the raised its GDP, placing its nominal value at over 373 trillion naira, or about $244 billion. This updated GDP rebasing gives a clearer picture of Nigeria's evolving economic structure and reflects the increasing influence of non-oil sectors. Economists say the momentum must now be translated into inclusive growth, especially as unemployment and inflation continue to squeeze the average Nigerian. With ongoing reforms by the central bank and federal government, there's cautious optimism that the economy might not just grow, but transform. A cultural storm is brewing in Ogun State as the government prepares for a legal face-off with International Council for Ifa Religion, following the Islamic burial of the Orujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetona. The monarch, who died at 91, was interred according to Islamic rites, a decision that has now triggered outrage from the ICIR. The council insists the burial violated traditional Yoruba customs and contravenes the Ogun State chieftaincy law, which they argue mandates that first-class traditional rulers undergo ancestral rites in line with cultural and spiritual expectations. Dr. Fayemi Fakayode, president of the council, accused the state of burying not just a king, but the legacy of an entire people without the due reverence. He described the Islamic burial as an erasure of Yoruba heritage and warned that future monarchs could follow suit, undermining centuries-old traditions. But the Ogun State government stands by its decision, stating that Oba Adetona had formally embraced Islam and made clear his burial preferences before his passing. Government spokespersons argue that honoring the monarch's personal faith does not invalidate his traditional authority. Legal practitioners and cultural custodians are now weighing in on what may be a precedent-setting case, one that tests the boundaries between religion, tradition, and law in Nigeria's plural society. In a bold and sweeping move, the Ondo State government has pledged to wage an all-out war against cultism and youth-related vices, which continue to destabilize communities and threaten the future of the state's young population. Governor Lucky, speaking during a stakeholder security meeting in Akure, declared that the government will no longer tolerate the rise in secret cult activities, drug abuse, and street violence plaguing secondary schools, higher institutions, and urban centers. According to him, the spate of criminal behavior among young people has reached an alarming level and demands immediate and coordinated action. Security agencies, school administrators, community leaders, and traditional rulers have now been tasked with forming a multi-layered response. Already, intelligence gathering units have been activated, and several suspects linked to recent cult related clashes are said to be in custody. The government has also approved a new curriculum for civic education, one that incorporates anti cultism awareness into secondary school programs. But beyond security measures, the state is investing heavily in youth empowerment. The Ministry of Youth and Sports is rolling out new skills acquisition programs, while local government areas are being encouraged to partner with NGOs to engage idle youths in sports, agriculture, and digital literacy training. Nigeria's Super Falcons are gearing up for what may be their most intense showdown yet, as they prepare to take on South Africa's Banyana Banyana in the Women's African Cup of Nations qualifiers. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Head coach Justin Madugu has made it clear that the Falcons are out not just to qualify, but to dominate. In a pre-match briefing, he assured fans that the team is united, focused, and hungry to end the South African team's impressive unbeaten run. We respect our opponents, but history and legacy are on our side. The Falcons are not here to play it safe. We're here to make a statement, Madugu declared confidently. South Africa's Banyana Banyana have become Nigeria's fiercest rivals on the continent, and their recent dominance has sparked a fierce footballing rivalry that transcends the pitch. But with star players like Azizat, Rashidat, and goalkeeper Chiamaka in peak form, the Falcons are confident that their mix of youth, experience, and tactical depth will prove decisive. The Nigerian Football Federation has also thrown its weight behind the team, organizing high-altitude training camps and logistics to ensure optimal preparation. Meanwhile, fans across the nation are already lighting up social media with messages of support and rallying cries for redemption. The royal succession drama in Ogun State has taken a new legal twist as the state government and the Ifa Traditional Council prepare for what promises to be a heated court battle over the rightful process for selecting the next Awujale of Ijebuland. The throne, one of the most revered in Yoruba land, has been vacant since the passing of Obasikiru Adetona. Traditionally, the selection of a new Awujale involves consultations with Ifa priests, kingmakers, and members of the ruling houses. However, recent moves by the Ogun State government to streamline and some say override the traditional Ifa divination process have sparked controversy and backlash. Tensions boiled over after the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs announced that only candidates vetted by the government screening committee would be considered for the position. The Ifa Council immediately condemned the move as a violation of age-old customs and a dangerous encroachment on sacred traditional authority. Legal experts believe the case will test the boundaries between state authority and cultural autonomy. Already, elders from the ruling house have expressed concerns that the government is attempting to impose a preferred candidate, bypassing the divination rights that have historically guided the process. India's political landscape was thrown into confusion and intrigue this week following the abrupt resignation of Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar just months before the country's pivotal general elections. In a short statement, Dhankar cited personal reasons for his decision to step down, but political analysts believe the move signals deep cracks within the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and a possible shift in internal alliances. His resignation comes in growing tensions between Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inner circle and senior party stalwarts over succession planning and policy direction. Speculation is rife that Dhankar, who was once a close ally of Modi and served as the governor of West Bengal before ascending to the vice presidency, had grown increasingly disillusioned with the central government style of governance. Sources suggest he was sidelined from key decision making processes and had privately expressed concerns about the erosion of democratic institutions. Opposition parties have seized on the moment, calling it a wake up call and a symbol of crumbling unity within the BJP. Rahul Gandhi of the Indian National Congress wasted no time in demanding a full parliamentary inquiry into what he described as a strategic political resignation. As India heads towards election, Dankar's resignation adds a layer of uncertainty. Will he form a new political faction? Is this the first public crack in the Modi led machine? Or is this simply a reshuffling before a new wave of appointments? Only time will tell, but for now, the corridors of power in New Delhi are buzzing with whispers and maneuvering as the political chessboard is rapidly being reconfigured ahead of what could be India's most unpredictable election season in years. A compelling new report has highlighted a surprising shift in worldwide safety rankings for 2025. The annual Global Safety Index released by Numbeo reveals that Andorra, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar now top the list as the world's safest countries. These nations earned high marks for low crime rates, strong infrastructure, and community trust, especially in metro hubs like Abu Dhabi and Doha, where extensive surveillance systems and robust social services reinforce public security. Conversely, once perceived safe, global powers such as the United States and the United Kingdom have slipped in the rankings. Analysts attribute their lower position to rising violent crime, increased urban gun offenses, and concerns over public disorder and metro violence. This recalibration reflects deeper societal tensions and growing questions about urban policy, policing, and inequality. On the other end of the spectrum, the index labels Venezuela, Papua New Guinea, and Haiti as the least safe nations, with crime, political instability, and weak public system posing daily risks to citizens. Experts say the 2025 rankings suggest the smaller nations with concentrated governance and strategic investment in safety infrastructure may outperform larger countries, even those with more wealth on paper. The findings are generating policy discussions around how to replicate the security successes of places like Andorra or the UAE in larger, more diverse societies. That wraps up this segment of Alive News. Join us again. I'm Khadija Ibrahim.